Dysmorphic disorder. It's a psychiatric disorder that's characterized by an obsessive preoccupation with a perceived defect in one's physical appearance. Now, Diana has been suffering with this disorder for over 13 years. She's had over 50 permanent makeup procedures, eyeliner, lips, eyebrows, all to perfect her face, but she says she still looks worn out, looks like hell. Her mother, Guadalupe, and her sister, Liz, say Diana's body dysmorphia is a never-ending nightmare, and they remember the moment it all began.
I believe the body dysmorphia started when I was very young. I was sexually abused when I was 3. As a child, I always felt a tremendous amount of shame.
As soon as she disclosed to us the sexual abuse, Diana started having problems with her appearance.
My family ended up becoming very vicious towards me. They said that I was a liar. They made me out to be like I was the villain and not the victim. And so I lost my family at that time. I had so much anger for what happened that I looked at myself like it was my fault. What he did was my fault. I started to hate myself. And I think that that's definitely played a big role in what I'm going through now.
Do you, in your logical mind, believe that that was your fault? Do you know logically that's not true, but emotionally you've come to feel it? Or where do you come down on that?
I believe in the forefront, I can rationalize that it's not my fault. But I think in the back of my mind, where there's a level of conditioning that I still have not dealt with, that it's my fault, that things happen, that the family separation happened. Because I sometimes think, well, maybe if I had not told, then it wouldn't have happened.
What do you say about that, Mom?
we confronted with the family the abuse. At that time, the family just, the extended family just separated. Didn't want nothing to do with her. They accused her of being a liar. And
did you believe her?
I believe Diana.
How do you feel about your sister saying, I don't have sympathy for this. Come on, get over it. I got kids and a life, and I get up and get going in 20 minutes, and you spend 3 hours in front of the mirror and then stay home all day? How do you feel about her attitude about this?
Well, I understand, you know, her frustration, because she doesn't live in my mind. She doesn't live, you know, she has not experienced my experiences. However, you know, she was never sexually abused, nor did she have to face what I faced as an adolescent, disclosing to my family that this is what had happened to me, and they protected him at the expense of me.
How do you, in your mind, connect this up? You said she doesn't live in your mind. How, in your mind, do you connect that up with this admitted preoccupation, obsession with your appearance?
As a young child, I was made fun of a lot for my physical appearance. And that tended to, obviously, to bother me a great deal. And then as I started to grow up and, you know, become more what others would consider attractive, that's when everything happened with the family. And it was like I never had the opportunity to grow out of what I was dealing with as a child. It was like one traumatic event after the other.
Do you realize that at an intellectual level that most people would look at you and say that you are a beautiful woman?
No.
Okay. What is the payoff for standing in front of the mirror for 2 or 3 hours?
Absolutely no payoff.
Does it reduce your anxiety? You wouldn't do it if there wasn't some payoff. We don't do things repeatedly that we don't get something out of. I mean, do you feel like if I watch it closely, I can control it, I can manage it? Does it lessen the anxiety for you? I don't know.
Yes, I do.
All right, next is Diana's mother enabling her disorder? By them having the attitude that they do about it, does it make it better? Does it make it worse? Is there a way they can become part of the solution? Talk about all of that and how serious I think this has become when we come back.
In late 2004, I had gone to a technician, had her do the full face, which included the brows, the liner, and the lips, and she essentially ended up botching every procedure. It bothered me tremendously.
Diana comes home from a procedure and becomes very critical. She'll slam the door in the bathroom and scream and cry. We had spent approximately $50,000 to $20,000 on Diana's permanent makeup procedures.
My parents have paid for probably 90% of the procedures. She will have a screaming match with my parents in order to get that procedure done. I do feel that my parents have enabled Diana.
Well, Diana, who by most standards, by most objective viewers, is as beautiful as some of the models and actresses that you see walking around here in Hollywood. But yet she looks in the mirror and sees an ugly woman staring back. Now, some people might just say, hey, look, get over yourself, come on. Are you kidding me? But the fact is, she has what appears to be something called a body dysmorphia. Now, Diana says that her disorder is taking a toll on her whole existence. And her mother, Guadalupe, and her sister, Liz, say it's painful to watch Diana deteriorate before their very eyes. Why do you think she's being enabled?
Well, Diana has her moments where she'll start screaming, crying, and she'll tell my mom and dad if they love her, they'll do this procedure for her, that this is the only way that she's going to get better. And the procedure gets done.
Do you give in?
We try not to give in, but at the end we do, because her promise to us is that one more time.
But but how many times you got to go through that? You know it's not going to fix the problem.
It's true. But every time we feel that maybe this time, maybe now Diana can go forward.
Do you get that this is a serious problem?
Yes, it is a serious
Liz, do you get
yeah.
that? This isn't just her being vain.
No.
This is a serious problem.
And I think it stems from my mom and dad not going and getting the therapy after the abuse that she had.
Because here's what we're talking about. When I say this is a serious problem, at age 16, you made a serious attempt to kill yourself with an overdose of Prozac.
Yeah, correct.
In 2005, and again in 2006, you made a serious attempt to hang yourself to take your own life. And at the end of 2006, you overdosed again, trying to end your life. True?
True.
Statistics are pretty clear. People with body dysmorphic disorder are about 45 times more likely than normal to commit suicide. So the point here is she's going to get this right. She's made 4 attempts. This girl's going to kill herself, Mom, sis. It's going to happen. Ari Winograd is the director of the Los Angeles Body Dysmorphic Disorder Clinic. This is a serious disorder, is it not?
And Diana has a classic case of body dysmorphic disorder, BDD.
With us today also is Dr.